Platinum LED Bio 300. It is the smallest and cheapest option from one of the best red light therapy companies. Now, with so many red light therapy panels on the market today, how does this stack up? Well, be sure to hang around until the end of the video because yes, I'm gonna do my full review and crunch all the numbers and all of that cool stuff, but I'm also gonna tell you about one or two other panels that may actually be better than the Bio 300. Let's get into it. Hey, so really quick, I am affiliated with Platinum LED. That means if you go down and order this panel or any of their panels using the discount link below, you save some money, but I get a commission. Okay, so what do you need to know about the Bio 300? Well, Platinum LED have two product lines. This is their basic product line, the Bio range. If you want to go top end, more premium, then check out my videos on the Bio Max product range. The Bio range misses out on a lot of bells and whistles. It doesn't have any touchscreens, it doesn't have any remotes or apps or anything like that. It's really quite a basic design. It's a design that's been around for a while. Platinum LED have obviously kept it for their budget conscious customers. You have two big switches on the bottom. One turns the red light on, the other turns the blue and the near infrared wavelengths on. And yes, there's blue light in this panel. That is something that Platinum LED introduced in their Biomax panels. I think in their 6th or 7th generation line, it's now fed through into their Bio line, which is kind of cool. What's included in the box? Well, you get a really nice manual. You get some eyewear protection, door hanging hooks, the cables, and also a chain so you can adjust the height of the panel if you're hanging it from the back of the door. Now, the Bio 300 has 100 LEDs in it. You can step up to the 450, which has 150 LEDs, or the Bio 600, which has 200 LEDs. Size-wise, it's 19 inches tall, 9 inches across, and 3 inches deep. But it does have quite a wide metal border around the panel. Now, as for the wavelengths, Platinum LED claim there are 3 different wavelengths in this. The blue that we saw before, coming in at 480 nanometers. There is red at 660. And then you have the near infrared, which of course is invisible at 850 nanometers. What I'm going to do now is fire up the spectrometer to see if this is in fact true. And we're also going to test the power numbers. Okay, so on screen you can see the peak red light. Now the Bio 300 does have two big switches. One is for the red, the other is for the near infrared and blue. So at the moment the near infrared is off. You can see here a peak of 658 nanometers. And it is a nice looking graph. Let's have a look at the near infrared and blue now. All right, so here's one snapshot. The near infrared peaking at 850 and the blue down here at 466. Now let's see what happens when all of the lights are running. Okay, so here's one snapshot. You see the red and the near infrared. Now there's only a very little amount of blue. This is because there's actually only 2% of the LEDs. 2 LEDs are putting out the blue wavelengths. Of course, if I test right in front of the blue wavelength, you're going to see a big spike in the blue, but that's only a small portion of the panel. So just keep that in mind if you are buying this for the blue lights. It's not a huge coverage area. Okay, so what about power output figures? Well, I tested a peak at 6 inches of 86 milliwatts over centimeter squared and an average over the face of the panel of 59 milliwatts over centimeter squared. This gives us a total wattage output of 33 watts. How do these numbers compare to the company's claim numbers? Well, at the time of filming, Platinum LED don't actually list the power output of this particular panel. I'm not 100% why this is the case. I know Platinum LED are working on an independent test, a way to accurately test panels across the board. They're part of a group of companies putting together this gold standard, so to speak. So maybe that is why they've pulled their numbers. But my own interpretation of these numbers is that, yeah, they're good. I mean, they're not market leading. I didn't expect it with a budget panel line like the Bio series here, but you're still going to get plenty of light even out at 6 or 12 inches. Now you can always head over to Light Therapy Insiders and click the shopping tool button. When you're in there, you can filter, sort, rank, search for panels, and you can see how the Bio 300 compares to other panels in its class, or even larger panels, whatever you want to do. So if we filter the data out to just show tabletop panels, I class this as a tabletop size, you can see that the power radiance is pretty good. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. I'll put a link to this shopping tool down below so you can go do your own searching. Also, while you're down there, can you hit the subscribe button? I do a lot of reviews like this. And also, if you find value in this video, hit the like button. Feel free to leave a comment. You got lots to do. It's all down below. On the EMF and sound front, we had a 0.26 microtesla reading in the magnetic field. This puts it in the orange category. It's higher than the Biomax range, and it's higher than a lot of other panels I've tested. Not alarmingly high, but there is a little bit of EMF there. From a sound point of view, we were 53.5 decibels. Again, you can see how these numbers compare over at the Light Therapy Insider shopping tool. Okay, so we know the numbers. What about the price? Well, it currently retails for $399 US. Now, if you order this panel through the link below, you will automatically save 5%. That means you can get it for a discounted price of $380. What about shipping? Shipping to America is free. However, international shipping can get quite expensive. I got a shipping quote for an address in Australia and it was over $100 US. So that is quite a lot of money given that you can get the panel for under $400. When we crunch all of these numbers, I get a value figure of $11.50. That means you're spending that much to get 1 watt of therapeutic red light. Unsurprisingly, this is a better figure than the Biomax 300, the premium size panel from PlatinumLED, but it's not as good as other budget competitors such as the Huga 300 range or the Best Cure panel. More on these panels later. If you're shopping for stands or accessories, there's only one stand available for this panel, and that is the mobile floor stand. And to be honest, that's probably not a stand you'd want to buy for this given its size. It's a shame you can't get the tabletop stands or anything like that. If you want a panel that has those options, then you're going to have to look at the Biomax range. I should also mention that there's a 3-year warranty and a 60-day return period, though you can be hit with up to a 20% restocking fee, so watch out for that. Okay, so what do I like and what do I not like with the Bio 300? Well, let's start with what I don't like, because there's quite a few things here. First up, the lack of stands is going to be a deal breaker for some. If you wanted this to sit on your makeup desk, your office desk, or something like that, it's not really possible. I mean, on the bottom of the panel, you have the cord and the switches. On the top, you have the hanging hooks. I suppose you could flip it around, but this is a metal design. It may do some damage to your desk. If you are looking for a good tabletop option with some nice stands, then again, check out my review of the Biomax 300 because there are some great stand options there. Of course, I don't like the fact that there's no timer, there's no app, there's no remote control, there's no screens. There's no dimming, there's nothing like that. In this day with so many red light therapy panels and so many of them having really great features, of course, a lack of these features is a downside, but some may argue that this particular design is rather refreshing. You just have 2 big switches. That's it. I suppose you can use your phone as a timer and you don't really need to worry about everything else. But hey, for me right now, it's a downside. There's also no modular support. So you can't get, say, 2 of them and stack them together or link them all up with cables. There's no option to do that. If you do get multiple panels, you've got to go through and turn them all on, run cables to each of them. Not a deal breaker, but just something to think about because the Biomax panels and other panels from other companies do allow you to clip multiple panels together. It only offers 3 wavelengths. You're getting your 660 red, your 850 near infrared, and a little bit of that blue light. Compare it to the Biomax panel, which has 7 wavelengths, I think. Compare it to Block Blue Light, to Rojo, Mito Red Light. All of these panels now have multiple wavelengths, 4, 5, 6, 7 wavelengths. So some may find the lack of wavelengths in the Bio 300 a little bit disappointing. It's also maybe a little bit underpowered compared to its rivals. A couple years ago, these numbers were great. Today, 2024, they are on the, average to lower side. Combine this with the EMF and also the sound. The sound is a little bit higher, especially for such a small panel. I don't like panels that are loud. It bothers me. That may be enough in itself to put you off from buying this. What else? International shipping is high. The design, some may not like the raw sort of look of it, where you can see the internal components. And then finally, you can't turn off the blue LEDs. Well, you can. If you turn off the blue LEDs, you're also turning off the near infrared light, which is a bit of a bummer. So if you want to use this without any blue, unfortunately, it becomes a red light only panel. So that is something to keep in mind. Now, what do I like about it? Well, it is FSA and HSA approved. It is very simple to use. It is a small, low-cost panel that has blue LEDs, though only 2% of the power is going to the blue LEDs. And best of all, its price. You can pick this up for under $400. It's not too bad considering this is a Platinum LED panel, one of the best companies out there when it comes to red light therapy panels, and a company that has been around for a very long time. So if you value these things, then yeah, you should definitely consider buying the Bio 300. If you want a small, well-priced panel that has blue LEDs in it, then again, this really is your only option, unless you want to go to the more expensive Biomax range. Likewise, if you want something simple, you don't want the fancy bells and whistles, you don't want apps, remotes, modular capability, touchscreens, you don't want anything like that. You just want good quality 660 and 850 nanometer with some switches. Easy. Then again, definitely consider it. But of course, it's not for everyone. To be honest, if you live outside America, you're probably best to look elsewhere, just given the high shipping costs. Roho Therapy, Block Blue Light, these are two companies that have really good international shipping options with warehouses all around the world. I'll put links to some of their panels below. I've also reviewed them, so you can check them out later if you wish. Now, if you are price conscious, and whether you live in America or not, then I do recommend checking out Huga. They have two panels of a similar size. Their Huga 300 and their Huga Pro 300. I've reviewed both, I've done comparisons. They're actually cheaper than this Platinum LED Bio 300. Similar specs, though the Pro line does have some of those bells and whistles, but they don't have blue LEDs. Remember, this is the only panel in this size that has blue LEDs. You could also check out Mito Red Light. They have some good lower cost options, or even BestCure. BestCure is very similar spec to this, though it's about $80 cheaper. Again, I've reviewed it. Check all the links out below. Otherwise though, if you're happy to push the budget, then I'd recommend checking out Platinum LED's premium line. I've referred to it a few times in this video. It's the Biomax line. The Biomax 300 is a really, really nice panel. About a year ago, I compared a bunch of tabletop panels, and the Biomax 300 did come out #1 in that series. Likewise, here in 2024, I compared wall panels. These are 300 LED panels, and the Biomax 900 came out first place when compared to 16 other panels. That shows that it is a really good panel, and if you're wanting something in this size that's exceptionally good, good value, good price, good power, good features, then yeah, maybe step up to that Biomax 300. I have done a full review on that, but I've also done this video up here that you may really enjoy watching. Check it out.